Good evening, my dear brothers, sisters, friends. Welcome to our weekly meditation session. Today is March the 9th, 2012. How are you this evening? I hope that you enjoy the weather so far. My dear brothers and sisters, when we are practicing meditation, we can enjoy our day mindfully and wholeheartedly. And lately that we can realize that there are a lot of disaster, lot of things that happen around the world and also in our city. Therefore, every time, every moment that if we look back to our life and we realize that we still can see our loved one, and that is a pleasure. I have the opportunity to go to the senior lodge, senior home twice a month. That means every 2 weeks I will have a session to talk with the staff at the senior home. And the other 2 weeks I will talk with the resident. And when I talk with the staff, and I can realize that working with the patients, working with disabled patients are very stressful. And because they have to see, they have to deal with a lot of sickness and death every day. And when I talk with the residents, and I can see they also not happy much because they focus too much, they pay attention too much to they have to endure a lot of sickness on their body. But when I talk with the residents, like yesterday, and when I talk with all the seniors there, and I tell them that I told them about my practice. And when one of the lady asked me, "How old are you now?" Because I told them that I am the student of the master, because they used to call the master at the senior home. And I have to introduce myself that I am the student of the master. He said, and I told them that I ordained under the master when I'm 15 years old. And they asked me, "How old are you now?" I say, "I'm 37. "Oh wow, you don't look like you are 37. I said, "You know why?" Because as a monastics, we always smile. And they just laugh. "Really? Only smiling then can keep you look young?" I said, "Yeah, I guarantee. If you don't trust me, from now on you can start to smile. And then you can look young." I told them that if you look at your conditions now, and you can realize that you are very lucky. Even though you are not well, but you still have a beautiful facility to stay in. You have a lot of people surround you to take good care for you. Every day you have 3 main meals and 3 snacks. That means they have 6 meals a day. And when you cannot walk, you have the walker. And when you need a helper, all you need to do is pull out a string, and then they will come and help you out. And I told them that when you are happy, then you can see that your whole family, your whole children also happy. And I connect Let's say if any day that you are happy, then you will see that the nurses here are also happy because you give them a lot of support. You listen to them, you listen to their order, what you should do. You should all know that the nurses here, they come here to help you. They are here to help you. And if you follow their instructions, they will be happy because they have done their best as a nurse. And they will also, so your cooperations will become a very good support for the nurses. And with the nurses, I told them that if you look at the patients, the residents, and you will see that you are practicing the heart of the Bodhisattva, the great compassion. You have the opportunity to help. I met some of the young nurses there, and they are they work very hard because they have to change all the shifts, and they have to deal with a lot of seniors. And you know, as senior, and when they are sick, they are not easy to deal with. That is very normal. But if each of us, we know how to reflect on ourselves, and then we can bring a lot of support for our loved one. I remember when the Buddha taught the newly married couple, the Buddha told the husband, ask the husband, your wife try to cook for you, then you should know that what is the good time to call her up and cook for you. Please do not ask her to cook for you anytime you want, and that will make her busy and tired. And as the wife, the Buddha said, when you are the household, you keep the money, you keep the financial of the family, and you go to grocery, you also have the right to buy stuff for you, but you should moderate the budget. Otherwise, you will burn out your husband's wealth, etc. So when different people come to the Buddha, and the Buddha depends on each of the conditions, and to give the lecture directly to these people. So when I go to the senior, I always use that kind of technique to talk with them, the staff and the residents. But later on, I will combine both of them together, and each of them practice well, and they are supporting each other. The nurse practicing the Bodhisattva's work. The patients also can be the Bodhisattva to help the nurse to help them to complete their job. When we are practicing meditation, and I always encourage the Sangha to set up your time, so at least you can have 10 minutes or 15 minutes each day. That's very important. Because that is the time that you completely sit down and try your best to calm your body, to calm your mind. Of course, you can practice meditation all day long, when you walk, when you sit, when you eat, when you drink, but that's not enough. The time that you are sitting is the really good time to completely shut off all your distract. Let's say when you are walking, you're still moving. When you are drinking, eating, you're still moving yourself, and you still have a lot of things to bother your mind. But the time that you sit totally down, then it helps you a lot for the calming. And that is my own experience. Sometimes 15 minutes, but if we able to practice well, we have completely 15 minutes with this calm and relax. It will nourish for the whole day. It will nourish for the whole day. When we are the young novice. And this is what we should learn. I should say that not only for the young novices, but this is for all of us who are practicing. If we need to walk like a phoenix. If you need to stand like a pine tree. If we need to sit like a bell. Sit straight and solid like the bell. And if you look out on in the garden, and you will see that the pine tree, the evergreen tree, stand very straightforward. And if you look at the phoenix, and you can realize that they walk very slow, but each of their steps is very stable, very solid. Walk like a phoenix, stand like a pine tree, sit like a bell. So when I was young, and I have taught how to sit properly, and the master, all the teachers used to say, sit like a bell, and I don't understand that meaning much. But later on, I asked them, and they say, when you adjust the bell, before you invite the bell, you should adjust the bell in such a way that the bell can make a strong and solid sound. And make sure every time you sound the bell, people will hear it with their calm and relax. And you can tell every time when someone come up here and invite the bell, by listening to the sound of the bell that they invited, you can tell how is their feelings now. Are they calm yet? Are they still very busy in their mind? Because the sound of the bell can tell. We always know that the outside can tell the inside. The outside is represent for what's your inside. If someday you're happy, what happened? You look happy. If someday you don't feel you angry, your face look angry right away, because the face can tell everything how we feel. So before we invite the bell, we have to adjust the bell, and we have to hold the stick in such a way that we can sound the bell nice and clear. Very important. If you are not ready yet, you can sit and continue to practice sitting with your breathing. Few breaths before you can invite the bell. You have to have that kind of trust, that kind of faith. In all religions, in all practices, we should have faith. Because without the faith, we cannot continue. We cannot do anything. We cannot success anything without the faith. But in Buddhism, the faith have to be learning, reflecting clearly before you can have the faith on your practice. That's why you should listen. Listening to the teachings is very important. To cultivate your insight, to give you for the knowledge, understanding, and the first thing you have to do is you should listen. Listening, very important. And you know the four basic, one of the group that practicing in Buddhism is called listening. The Sangha of listening. What does that mean? They attain. And one of their practices, they try to listen. But they don't just listen and that's it, but they reflect what they listen. When you are listening to the Dhamma talks, never waste. Even though you may heard something old, repeat and repeat. But every time you listen to that again, it makes it more strong, more firm in your heart, in your mind. Some of the book I read 10 times, 15 times, but every time when I come back to read that book again, I learn something new from that book. And I believe you have experiences that kind of thing too. But in Buddhism, we cannot have the blind faith. Because if we faith without any reflecting, we believe in something without reflecting, and later on you become a fanatic. You remember that when you are learning the teachings of the Buddha, is to help you to live more mindfully, more happy, more peacefully, not to die for the teachings. Any kind of teachings we learn is to make us more happy, more peace, not for us to suffer because of the teachings. Some of the people, they have the attachment to the teachings. And then they expect people surround them or anything. They understand the teachings in the wrong way. And later on they become a fanatic in such a way, but they never know. But they name themselves, I am the truly faith to whoever they believe. And that is not the faith in Buddhism. Last Sunday, when I taught the young kids on the Sunday school, and I told them that you are taking refuge in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Sangha. And I summarized. I said, when people question you, you believe in the Dharma. That means the teachings of the Buddha. And the teachings of the Buddha have a lot of things to learn. So let's summarize all the teachings of the Buddha in a simple way that we can understand, we can hold. And you know how the teachings of the Buddha can be summarized. Do not do bad things. Always do good things. Purify your mind. Pure your mind. Because if you're able to pure your mind, you will see clearly what is good, what is bad. That is the key to practice all kinds of teachings. So the teachings of the Buddha are the teachings of all the teachers in all religions, in all different practices, is to help us to relieve the suffer, not for us to increase our suffer. We already suffer, so we come to look for, we are looking for the method, the way to escape, to relieve. But after you catch this path, this map, then now you try to damage, you try to against all the other paths, and you attach to your path. And sometimes that will have a very outward result. Faith is needed in all, when we begin in all kind of practice. The first thing we need is our faith. Let's say if you don't believe, meditation can help me to calm my mind, to relax my mind, to help me to relieve my pain, my suffer, then we won't continue to practice. But we need to come here to experience what is called meditation. We need to come here to practice what is called calming and relaxing. So that's why we offer you different technique of meditation. Sitting meditation, walking meditation, total relaxation. And once a month we sit together and we call tea meditation. And you go through all different kind of practices. And you realize, oh, this help. You continue. Today I'm not feeling well. That's why I request Brother Gordon to come out and practicing sitting meditation with the Sangha. I also practice in my room. And when I'm very tired, and before I came here, I finished my meditation 50 minutes earlier. I lie on bed and I practice relaxation, deep relaxation. Only 10 minutes. But after 10 minutes, I feel much better. I'm able to come out and meet the Sangha. So I believe. But my belief is not a blind belief, because I have experience. My brothers, my sisters, what I share with you every Friday is not only a philosophy, but what I have practiced. What I have gained in my practice, wholeheartedly I share with you. I try my best to explain how I practice, how I success in the practice, even though not completely, but how far I success, I share with you that much. How far I know, sincerely I share with you. And when I see you are practicing sitting meditation, when I see you're smiling during your meditation, when I see that you are walk here with your joyful steps, and that's a great gift for me. When I ask sisters, brothers, how are you? When I ask that question, I have a meaning. Are you feeling well, physically and mentally? That is the purpose of my question, and that is the meaning of my question. When I say, how are you? It's not only, a socialized question, but it's come from my heart. How is your physical feeling? How is your mentally feeling? When I can see you smiling, I am fine. That makes me happy. Faith is important. The second thing that we can practice is that our shame. I remember when I learned from one of the senior teacher. He said that every time when people come to bow to me, I used to join my palms and I shrunk myself like this. And he asked us, do you know why? Because I feel ashamed. I did not practice that well. And now people come to prostrate me, pay respect to me. I feel that I don't have enough, merits to receive all the bowings. That is a very humble teachings. We know he is the very high teacher. His practice is beautiful. We can learn from him every single word. But he still say that. So when I heard that, I reflect to myself, and what we are. compare our practice to our teacher, we are very small, very tiny. So the Buddha said, one of the way that you also can practice to help yourself to gain the merits and to move forward in your life is to be humble. When you're able to be humble, you feel always ashamed. Let's say if someday you come to someone's house for a dinner, you come late, you didn't help anything, you just jump in and you join in the meal, and when you finish, you stand up and you leave. You don't feel right, are you? We should help to bring the dishes in or do some washing, or at least to set up the table, set up the chairs, or etc. We are unable to just join and then we left. Ashamed. So when people offer in our practice, when people offer us something, what do? Join our palms. My practice is still very weak. I humbly pay respect to your offering. When you're able to practice, you are feeling you are ashamed for something. It's not a kind of a complex to make us, feel we want to withdraw from life. But that will help us to calm down our ego, our arrogance. Because we are always feel that we are higher than that person. I know better than you. And one of the way that the Buddha said, I shared with you last time. What to fear? I fear that I will have a bad result. That's why I don't dare to do bad things. This morning when we are doing the morning chanting, and you know that we have a very old nun here. She is 87 years old now. And sometimes she forgot. This morning when we're doing the morning chanting, she came to the chanting and she forgot to put on her robe. But we know, so we all sit and wait for her to put on her robe. And I look at some of the younger brothers sit next to me and say, look, when you are young, you don't practice, and when you are old, you are like that. When I say that, I don't mean I'm teasing the nun. But when we are seeing something, it can become a picture for us to reflect and to remind ourselves. And the Buddha said, what is the good time to practice? When you are young, when you're still healthy. What is a pleasure for you to practice? You have a place to stay in, you have food, you have clothes, you have a good environment to practice. Then the Buddha reminds, if you reflect and you see all of that conditions is qualified, you know that you are very lucky in the practice. You cannot wait. Practice now. When you open the Nikaya Sutra, you can learn a lot of things from the Buddha in that text. Every single thing. So I'm very interesting when I read the Nikaya text. We have a whole set here on my left hand side. I have bought the whole set from England in English. So the Sangha, you are welcome to borrow, or you can search on internet. Now everything on internet. I can give you all the names of the texts, and someday you can Google and you can search all of them. So that the technology is very powerful to help us to learn, as long as we know how to use them mindfully. So that's why the Buddha said, nothing is completely bad. Nothing is completely good. If the good, you don't know how to use it, it can become bad. So the Buddha taught 5 things you should remember. What is the good time for you to practice? When you're still young, you're still healthy, you have a place to stay, you have food and clothes, you have a good environment, and that environment have no argument. People live together in a harmony, in a very mindfulness way. When I reflect my own environment, I see it's a pleasure. Let's say, look at this meditation center. Every week we have a place to stay in, nice and warm. If it's in the winter, we have AC. We have a nice cushion to sit. We have the Sangha together. And after the session, we go downstairs for gathering with tea and cookies. And if you reflect, and we can see what else we want. We still have the good conditions of health to come, to practice, and to learn. You know, we have the habit to extend. When people ask us to do something, we will say, I will wait, maybe later. But you know, sometimes we don't have that chance. We don't have that chance. Tomorrow I will attend the funeral for a young man, 26 years old. Yesterday I remember there was a question from the senior at the senior home. She asked me. She told me that one day she visited the temple, and at the back hall she saw a lot of pictures. She believed that is all the picture of people who pass away. She asked me, is that right? I said, yeah, people who pass away. So we place there to remember and to practice and to pray for them. Sure? Really? How come a lot of young people there? Because sometimes we thought only old people die. But no. That kind of path, we cannot make our own decision. We cannot tell when. So when I really appreciate, especially young friends who put their heart into the practice. The young novices here, when they put their heart into the practice, they make me very happy. I can see their brotherhood. When I look, when we have dinner together, I look at them and I realize that some of any day that they really enjoy their meal, that also make me happy. As a teacher, as a mother, as a father, by looking at your child when they really enjoy something for their life, they live a very happy way that make you also happy. When you fear to be suffer in the future, then we put our heart into practice now. So when we are sick, when we die, we have done something that we need to be done. Some of the way they define the word arahat. Arahat means what they have to do, they have done their best. All the beneficials for themselves and for others, they have completely done. Now, if they have to leave, they will live happily. And that is the stage of a saint. So when people ask, what is the word saint mean? And you can tell them the meaning of it. You live and you do in such a way that you're able to bring benefit for yourself, for the others, with your best capacity. You have no more regret. Your own capacity, you have done your best. And I remember Thầy Pháp Ân always remind, do your best. When you have done your best, you will be happy for that day. And that is my experience. Now I have weekday, I have class for senior residents, I have class for the staff there, I have class for young novices, I have service here, I have Friday class, I have Sunday, I have Saturday, so that means I work every day. And if any day that I have complete my job, I feel very relaxed and happy that day. Someday when Fridays like this, any Friday night after I'm done with all of you, I can tell you that I feel very happy that Friday night, my health is not bad. I can come with the Sangha. I can share my practice with the Sangha, and the Sangha attend regularly. I'm happy for that whole night. That is my feelings. Saturday the same, with the Vietnamese Sangha. So I feel that for that day I have done something for the Sangha with my best. And my health still allow me to do something for the Sangha. My energy still allow me to do something for the Sangha. I'm very happy. And what is that called? Diligent. Diligent means you do regularly any things you do with your own capacity. Let's say you have only 50 minutes in the morning. Practice 50 minutes sitting meditation in that morning. Keep it regularly. Of course, someday you are sick, or you are busy, you can skip. But most of the time, you can make it. That's called diligent. A practitioner unable to diligently in their practice, they cannot success anything. The insight cannot increase, cannot open, cannot cultivate. No reading, then how can you understand anything? So I always remind young people, when they have free time, take your book out and read. You read a page, at least one word, you take it. You read 2 pages, you have 2 words. There's no ways for you to do some reading, some learning. You know, last Sunday, there was a lady who went back to Vietnam and visited for a month. When she came back and she brought me a whole set of books. They just finished translation from Chinese into Vietnamese, completely 7 books, and they just published. And this set of books are not for sale. They are wholeheartedly, sincerely offered to the monks. And she brought me a set. When I look at the set of the books, I'm very happy. You know what? For that whole Sunday night, I just sit with that 7 books, and even I cannot read all of them at once, but I take a look at each of the books. I love books. Anywhere I go, if some of the books, some of the title, I realize I don't have it, I will take a pen and write that title down, and I try to find one. Someday I'm not feeling well, I don't want to do anything. All I need to do is go around my bookshelves and set up all the books again and take out some of them and enjoy some of them. Later on, it helped me to relieve stress and anything. Very happy. So if we don't read, if we don't practice, then the insight cannot be there. So why the Buddha put insight at last? Because that is the result. The insight is the fruit of all the 4 steps, the 4 previous steps. Faithful, ashamed, fear, diligent. You diligently come to the Friday meditation session. You offer your joy, your happiness to the Sangha in many ways. You don't mean it, but you do. The young novices, they come to practice meditation in the morning, or they do their own chanting. Their voice, their chanting, nourish all the monks in many ways they never know. I enjoy hearing them inviting the great bell. I enjoy someday that they hold up the microphone and do their own chanting. Even though their pronunciation is sometimes very Canadian. You know, when they read Vietnamese, their pronunciation is not clear, but we like it. I remember one day one of the members stepped in and he asked me, "Oh, Thay, who is doing the chanting?" I said, "Oh, the young monks. No wonder I can smell hamburger." That means, it's a way to describe their pronunciation. Very cute, very, they try their best. And now you see Peter and Colin and all the older brothers. When they came to temple, they have no Vietnamese at all. And I teach them. When you chant with Thầy, you listen to Thei's pronunciation. And now when I teach them on weekday night, I wrote 1 sentence in Vietnamese. And I asked them to read that whole sentence. And I want to know whether they understand that sentence or not. I asked them to translate into English. So every single sentence in Vietnamese, there is another sentence translation in English underneath. And they learn in that way. I also can learn from them. I told them many times, a student can be a teacher. You also my teacher. You teach me in different ways. Because some of the things I don't know, you know. You do that. And your practicing have done to become a lecturer, to teach Thai. Like I don't know how to use a computer. They become a teacher to teach me. I have a handphone, the wireless phone. And somehow I accidentally off the ringer and I don't know how to turn it on. So someday the bell, the ring is off and I have to look for that because it doesn't ring, so I don't know where is it. So one day I found it, I don't know how to make it ring again, but Patrick does. Patrick said, "Oh, it's easy. He only need half minute. He can do that." And you can see that's why we said that in the gratitude, the students' gratitude to the teachers. But in our practice, we have another practice: the teacher gratitude to the students, because their beautiful practice, their beautiful presence become a teacher, become a lecture for us to learn. We can learn from them a lot. Like kids, what you can learn from them? They're innocent. They fight, they yell, they scream. 5 minutes later, they become friends again. But what about us? Maybe for the whole life, we don't want to see that person again. So we need to learn from the kids. They have a big fight, but after that, 5 minutes later, they're okay. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your attendance. I hope you enjoy your weekend and see you next week.